Right now at noon, zoning restrictions blocked the Good Neighbor Project from buying a Miami church land to use as a warming center.
And it is windy, as you can see here from downtown Pittsburgh. Otherwise, skies clear, a little cooler today as well. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, members of Quapaw Nation invite the community to walk for domestic violence awareness.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Jasper County prosecutor rules an officer-involved shooting that killed a Joplin man was justified. This is KOAM News at Noon. I'm Samantha Walker. Gavin Newton died from injuries sustained in April when a deputy shot him during a domestic disturbance call. The prosecutor says Newton was intoxicated, refused commands to show his hands, and claimed he had a gun. When Newton charged deputies with a knife, one deputy fired his weapon. Jasper County prosecuting attorney Teresa Kenny says, quote, "The man was almost on top of the deputy when he fired his weapon. Under the circumstances, the shooting was justified." The Missouri State Highway Patrol completed its investigation in August. The officer on leave following the incident was cleared and has been back to work. Some dramatic footage out of Clinton, Missouri yesterday. This is footage of a suspect fleeing a gas station yesterday morning and sending a Clinton police officer flying into his patrol car. Officers responded to the initial call around 8:45 regarding a woman asking for help. She told officers she had been assaulted and not allowed to leave. When officers approached the suspect, he refused to leave the parking lot. The video shows the moment he reverses the car and strikes a Clinton officer, throwing him onto his patrol car. Police followed the suspect, who crashed his vehicle into a lake. He continued to run but was caught by Clinton police. Let's check in with Chris Warner for a quick look at the forecast.
Yeah, things are looking pretty good out there. Bit breezy, though. And of course, you can see that dust being stirred up. Camera shaking in downtown Pittsburgh. Otherwise, it's not a bad day so far. MoDOT camera, I-44 and Range Line. Again, it's shaking a bit as well. Quite a bit of traffic. And again, if you're driving a high-profile vehicle, you got to make sure you're paying extra attention, because while the winds today aren't as gusty as they were yesterday, it is still a bit on the breezy side. Take a look at this. 50s, where we started yesterday, just a hair above normal. We made it, though, 10 degrees above normal, but thankfully 10 degrees less than a record high. Temperatures right now, though, we have a fairly normal day in store for most of us. We're in the low to mid 60s. Do have some upper 60s down south where we could eventually reach some low 70-degree readings, but I think most of us pretty close to that average high today. Clear skies continuing through the evening. Will be mid 50s by 8, upper 40s by midnight, falling back into the low 40s overnight tonight. And thankfully, the winds late this evening will start to ease up. We'll turn around, start to warm up the next couple of days, and we got some rain chances. Details on all of that here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. A community organization at Miami, Oklahoma hopes to open a warming and cooling center, but it seems they've hit a roadblock. The Good Neighbor Project was seeking a new piece of property to help with the homeless community. Reporter Ty Parks has more from Miami.
Neighbor Project is an organization that seeks to give back in the Miami area. They started helping people shortly before the pandemic, and after the virus faded back, they focus on the street citizens of Miami.
And there's a lot of stigma that comes with somebody that's, on the streets. They call them drug addicts, alcoholics, all this other stuff. And though some true in some cases, a lot of people, they just fell and there was nobody there to pick them up.
Aldridge says that they know if they had a building they could use as a home base.
We can get them their benefits. We can get them, off the treatment. We can do all those things if we just had a permanent facility. So this facility hunt's been going on for, like I said, about 5 years. We've been close a couple times, and we really rely on God to direct us.
Vacant church on the corner of West Central and East Street Southwest is perfect.
But the church has been there for a lot of years. So the only different thing that we're doing from a normal church, we're going to be open more than just Sunday. We're still going to have services in the church. We've got a couple pastors on our staff that's willing to come in and do service with them. And then our kitchen will be open, like I said, 3 times a day.
Until the city zoning board told them the church is not zoned correctly, GMP can take the matter to the zoning board for a change. Good Neighbor will look at their options to continue their mission.
I don't want to see people, not in our country. We shouldn't have people going hungry in our country, and it is frustrating that it's happening.
In Miami, Oklahoma, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
The city of Miami says it's opened its Civic Center and the downtown attraction building during weather events. The Quapaw Nation invited the public to its first ever domestic violence awareness walk yesterday morning. The walk brought nearly 80 people out to participate. Organizers say the goal of the event is to raise awareness and stand against domestic violence.
To educate the community about domestic violence and that it is a crisis. It's a crisis in our community. It has no boundaries. It used to not have an identity. It used to be a silent topic, and now it has an identity. It is domestic violence.
The theme for this year's walk was Love Doesn't Hurt. Organizers hope to make the event an annual event. Today marks the beginning of School Bus Safety Week. That actually started yesterday. We're celebrating it this week. Missouri State Highway Patrol wants to remind parents, drivers, and students there are several simple ways to keep our smallest passengers safe on their way to and from school. Troopers have plenty of advice for making school bus safety, not just for the week, but all year round. Just head over to our website, that's KOAMnewsnow.com, for more information. Voters in Barton County, Missouri will decide whether to approve a use tax. If they vote to pass it, the current tax rate would not go up, but it would extend the tax to online and out-of-county purchases. KOAM's Blake Gully explains how it works.
When people buy items in Barton County, they pay a local sales tax. That money helps fund the county's ambulance district, covering expenses like equipment, vehicles, and training. But when someone orders the same item online or buys it in another county, that tax isn't collected locally. The Barton County EMS director explains, as more purchasing shifts online, our local sales tax revenue has declined. Approving this use tax will help protect essential funding for the ambulance district, while keeping tax rates fair and consistent no matter where goods are purchased. The proposed use tax would change that by applying the same tax rate to out-of-area purchases. The tax rate would match what residents already pay on local sales. If the rate ever changes in the future, the use tax would automatically change to match. County officials say this type of tax is common in other parts of Missouri and helps keep local services funded as more shopping moves online. The question will be on the November 4th ballot. A yes vote allows the ambulance district to collect the use tax, while a no vote keeps the current system in place. In Barton County, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
For more information on the November 4th election, visit our website at KOAMnewsnow.com/elections. Well, coming up, Hamas's top negotiator said the group is still committed to ceasefire deal as Vice President J.D. Vance is in Israel for a meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And later, we're making fudge cheesecake bars in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Vice President J.D. Vance arrived in Israel today to try and prevent the ceasefire with Hamas from collapsing. The vice president is expected to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu following fighting over the weekend. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
Vice President J.D. Vance is on the ground in Israel to send a message the White House remains fully committed to the peace deal it helped broker. Vance, ahead of his trip, was asked if he thinks the ceasefire can hold.
We think that it has the best chance for a sustainable peace, but even if it does that, it's going to have hills and valleys, and we're going to have to monitor the situation.
Vance joined Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, who returned to the region this week to work on implementation. Despite new fighting over the weekend, Hamas's top negotiator said today it's committed to ending the war. President Trump Tuesday warned Hamas that allies have offered to go in and, quote, straighten out Hamas. The president said not yet, but if violence doesn't stop, an end to Hamas will be, quote, fast, furious, and brutal.
They're going to be very good, they're going to behave, they're going to be nice, and if they're not, we're going to go and we're going to eradicate them if we have to.
The administration says there will not be U.S. boots on the ground in Gaza, but American troops are part of the efforts to coordinate humanitarian aid and monitor the ceasefire.
As part of Phase 1, Hamas is still in the process of returning the deceased hostages to Israel, with the remains of an Israeli sergeant major returned overnight.
Wow.
Witkoff and Kushner met with some of the living hostages and their families freed from captivity just a week ago. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump is receiving the Architect of Peace Award from the Nixon Foundation today for trying to end the war in Gaza. Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
We're whipping up a dessert that looks as good as it tastes. Don't go anywhere or you'll miss it.
And we've got breezy conditions, cooler temperatures. We're going to start warming up, and rain is on the horizon. A look at all of that when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Our temperature's pretty close to normal out there. Well, not yet, but that's where we're headed. And it is still a bit on the breezy side. Live look downtown Pittsburgh, and you can see cameras shaking occasionally there from those gusty northwest winds. So they're actually coming up on the backside of this camera. And again, it's just a bit on the breezy side. Thankfully, not like yesterday where we were dealing with wind gusts upwards of 50 miles an hour in some cases. Actually, it brought down small things, but still, for some folks, probably a big deal in some cases as well. Now, for the rest of this day, it's going to be breezy. Now, we head later into the evening, so we're talking after, say, 6 o'clock or so, the winds will begin to ease up, and then they'll become calm as we go overnight tonight. We're still clear, we're still dry. Most of our Wednesday, clear and dry. The only big change, I guess there's two changes. One, the winds shift out of the southwest, and two, that allows us to start warming up a bit above normal again as we go into the low 70s. But thankfully, at this point, we're not expecting 20, 30, 40 mile an hour wind gusts with these as we go into our Wednesday. It's just about 5, 10 mile an hour southwesterly breeze. We'll be clear through the day on Wednesday, clear through the overnight hours on Wednesday. In fact, we're pretty just plain over the next couple of days. Then we go into Thursday. By Thursday evening, we start seeing clouds increasing across the area. We start to see an opportunity for some scattered showers and storms. Initially, by 10, you can see they're fairly isolated, but as we get later into the night, heading into early Friday morning, now we've got a few more of these showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder across the area. So by Friday morning, 5 a.m., scattered showers again, maybe a thunderstorm or two. And then that'll kind of continue through the day on Friday and possibly even into our Saturday. It will be scattered in nature, so it's not raining everywhere all at once, but nonetheless, we do have that. Now, there's something else I want to point out, and of course, it's still subject to change. We've got a level 1 out of 5 risk for stronger storms, Chautauqua, Montgomery, Washington, Newada counties, as we head really, and it's Thursday, it's day 3, but it's going to be Thursday night into Friday morning. This level 1 risk goes pretty far back to the west, but it's only a level 1 risk back even across northern Oklahoma and southern Kansas. So we'll see how this pans out. Anything that's coming in here shouldn't be all that intense as it is, and honestly, should be in kind of a decaying state as we head overnight Thursday into Friday. We'll keep an eye on it for you, of course. If anything changes, we'll certainly let you know. But right now, we're not looking at the ingredients for any kind of significant thunderstorm activity. But we are looking at some rain, and we do need some more rain. Today, temperatures right about where we should be, but cooler than where we were yesterday. Those northwest winds, again, gusting upwards of 25. Now, without any clouds tonight, we're going to get chilly again, a little below normal, back into the low 40s. And this morning, Neodesha and Parsons each started in the upper 30s. So we could get some upper 30s again tonight. Not expected to be widespread upper 30s, but we could get some pretty cool spots out there. But don't worry, tomorrow now we start warming back up, a little above average, low 70s, and that southwest wind 5 to 10. We'll hold on to the low 70s through Thursday, and that rain starts rolling in. The clouds, now the clouds at night keep our overnight lows much warmer because they trap in that warmer air, but our daytime high is a little cooler, mid 60s Friday, Saturday. We have another brief warm up Monday and another system coming in, more thunderstorm chances, and then next week our temperatures heading into Halloween could drop well below average into the upper 50s and low 60s. So fall has finally arrived. It took we were September 50th, I think, is what it would have been before we finally got to October temperatures, but they're here.
And it's official fall, not one of those fake falls that felt like we had a bajillion of before we officially got
exactly.
here.
Now we're into fall for at least a couple of weeks before winter gets here.
Well, thanks so much, Chris. Stick around. We're making fudge cheesecake bars in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Looking for a rich fudge and creamy chocolate cheesecake recipe? Say no more. The name Fudge Cheesecake Bars speaks for itself. Howard shows us how to make it in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Every now and again, it's okay to show off. I mean in the kitchen, especially when the results deliver a dessert that looks and tastes like it was a lot of work, even though it wasn't. So get ready as we show you our little secret. You're not going to believe how easy it is. We begin by melting some baking chocolate with a bit of butter in the microwave. Once that's smooth, we beat in some sugar, eggs, vanilla, and when that's creamed together, we add some flour and continue beating it before spreading it into a baking dish. And then we'll set that aside. Over here, we have some softened cream cheese that we beat with some sugar and an egg. This will be our cheesecake layer. To take this over the top, we add some chopped up candy bars before we drop spoonfuls of it on top of our chocolate layer. Now for the fun part, we take a butter knife and swirl the two batters together, creating sort of a marble effect. When it's all swirled, we bake it until it sets up. Once it's cool, cut it into bars and enjoy the perfect combo of brownies and cheesecake all rolled into one amazing dessert. Just don't forget to serve it with a fresh cup of joe. These fudge cheesecake bars are bound to be a hit with your gang, so go online and get the recipe today. I know you'll be glad you did. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where every day we're looking for a doubly good way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at koamnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, still breezy for us today, and then those winds dying down this evening. Upper 60s, low 70s next couple of days. Shower storms building in after 10 o'clock Thursday, lasting into Friday, Saturday. Brief warm up again on Monday. More storm chances, temperatures possibly below normal heading into Halloween. So fall has finally arrived.
Glad to see it, huh?
I know. I've been telling them I'm ready to break out the sweaters and not be like burning up, pretending that it's not 80 degrees outside as I'm wearing them. You know, just trying to manifest the cool temperatures. They're actually here.
Well, apparently that's worked.
Evidently.
Oh, thanks to you.
Thank you. So we have some good stories coming up at 5, Dow?
That's right, a lot coming up at 5. For starters, peanut allergies have plummeted among children. That's according to a new study. Researchers say that's because recommendations have been revised. Parents are no longer being told to avoid giving babies foods that can potentially cause allergic reactions. We're going to take a look at exactly what's changed. Plus, we're going to hear from local experts about what steps you should take to prepare your home for these cooler temperatures we're experiencing and will. And a Commerce Elementary School dedicates a bench to a student who tragically lost his life earlier this year. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course, that's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Dow. That's our news for now. Thank you for joining us for KOAM News at noon. Have a great afternoon.